Like we're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal! And it's Andre Cole, the hero from Croydon! We thought it was over, but it's not over, and Croydon look like they're going to go all the way to the win.
We can't say that now.
Here goes Yuki Sasaki into the area. Penagaris, Chrissy Penagaris. Adelaide Comets have taken the lead.
Falcon there, but it leaves Owen Windsor. And a third for Metro Stars.
Here's Emma Ryan. She's not one of them because she's from Darwin. The shot from DeCola. Oh! Lily DeCola scores in the cup final again and wins it for West Adelaide. Oh, as the ball cuts back here to Odenwalder. And James Odenwalder scores. He makes it 2-0 for West Adelaide on the day.
I bet he was going to be Travella if he puts one in. He goes himself instead. And it's still Soy Sakani. It's unbelievable, David, as well. And that one is definitely going to be credited to him.
Will have to be chased down by Rapuano. He'll put in a cross of his own. Hobbs wasn't able to capture it. It's in! It's not the one that seals up my Atletico promotion.
I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too. Yeah, we're doing this thing.
Yes, hello, welcome to One Game at a Time. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of July, episode 22 of season 2026. I'm Seb O'Neill, as always, joined by my co-host. My question for this week, Mark Talbot. Mark, what's your favourite smell?
I've
never seen you caught so off guard by a question.
Well,
and it's probably the most normal one I've ever asked.
Oh, no, actually, do you know what I do really like the smell of is when my daughter bakes cookies.
Oh.
So I actually buy the cookie mix on purpose for her to make them.
Nice answer. Alessio, for you?
It's a tough question to ask, but I guess one thing I like the smell of is is it washing powder? Like when you open the box and you put it in the washing machine, that stuff just really nice.
Yeah, really good start to the show.
I thought you were going to say mum's pasta.
It tastes good, but it smells just the smell.
How stereotypical do you want him to be?
I know, that's why I said
it. Yes, thank you again for joining us as always this week. Plenty of football, of course. We'll start off with our picks of the week. Of course, David is not here. but he did send us in a video. He's currently in Fiji. He returns tomorrow. But he did send us a video of sort of saying some things he's gotten up to. So do you want to see the video from David?
Well, of course we do.
Of course we do. Let's see what he's been up
Of
to.
course we do.
Leah Laffa of the Solomon Islands, Jared Clark of Vanuatu, and Jonathan Spokyjack of Vanuatu. Avert your eyes, for I am wearing Fiji's national shirt and I'm here on my holidays on the beautiful South Pacific island. I'm staying at Yatul just now. I'm due back soon. And I just thought I'd give you a little video message and the One Game at a Time podcast team and our audience on how my holiday experience has been and the World Cup final that was. So of course the World Cup final was on at the weekend. It was at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, our time here in Fiji. Got up to watch it. Bar was very quiet. Most people here of course are into rugby in a big way, and soccer, football is not the number one sport here, although they do tend to enjoy it, I think. That's the impression I've got anyway. Cagey affair, of course, no early goal meant it was a more long and drawn out affair than it otherwise might have been. And in the end, the trophy presented by the two people who now run the game globally. One of them unfortunately couldn't work out how to get off the stage and had to be helped by the other one, which was quite unfortunate, a little bit embarrassing. But not the best World Cup in my opinion, and I think Canada and Mexico certainly did a very good job. I just hope the United States don't get it again for a little while. So we visited the island on which Tom Hanks was cast away for 4 years in that film that was made back in 2000. An extraordinary sequence of events. He was in a plane crash and landed in the sea and ended up in this desert island. But we visited it, and I can assure you that he was pretty hopeless in his endeavours to get off the island because there was 2 resorts nearby, plus there was a regular ferry service, and a tour operator that operates on the other side of the very island he was on. If only he'd known, eh? Volleyball is the preferred sport around here, and they take it so seriously, they need security. You know, when you go on holiday and you're away for like 10 days, and what you do is you pack enough spare clothes for those 10 days, but you budget for the first few days, don't you? You wear a shirt that maybe goes for, I don't know, 3 days or something, and you think, I better change this. You might have your shorts on for 4 days. You go, I better change this. Socks, maybe 5 days. Extraordinarily enough, I got to the 6th day before I realised I hadn't changed my underpants. I've done it now though. And when I go back, I'll have about 6 pairs of underpants that I haven't worn, and about 2, maybe even 3 that I have. So this is the beach, just down at the bottom of our little resort where we're staying. And we've been here for a couple of nights. We've done a few tours around various islands and so on, but this is our last base before we go home. And this is the beach that I had one of the most surreal experiences in my life, certainly in recent memory, when a young man wielding a machete came galloping along the beach here on horseback, shouting and screaming and carrying on. It was really quite odd and unnerving. So I'm not sure if I told you guys how this trip came about. I'm a big rugby fan. I played rugby as a junior, and Scotland were due to play Fiji in the Nations Championships. So we booked our flight to Fiji, and we flew in, preparing to travel to either Suva or to Nandi to go and watch Scotland play rugby against Fiji. In the meantime, Fiji opted to play their home games away from home, and therefore on Saturday night, when I was supposed to be watching Scotland play Fiji in Fiji, I was sitting up at a bar watching Fiji play Scotland in Scotland, at Edinburgh. So that was a bit disappointing. Well, that's it. That's the end of my little video for you fellas. I'll be back next week. The sun is setting here. It is my last night. And I'll be back with you guys next week. Looking forward to it. See you then.
He's been on some holiday and a half, hasn't he, David? What a nice little package to see what he's been up to until he returns next week.
Lucky for some.
All right, we'll go on with the rest of the people who are in attendance, and David will be coming back later with his predictions as well. I'll go up next. A few bits of, I guess, South Australian player news. Matilda McNamara over to Port Portugal with Racing Power in their first division. Of course, one of those announced that were leaving Adelaide United for overseas opportunities alongside another in Ella Tonkin. She's also gone to Portugal with Torrens, I think is how you pronounce it. So two, basically our centre-back pairing of last year, both going to Portugal, but two different clubs. But good to see South Australian talent, of course, making the move over, especially a part of the women's game, and hopefully eventually some point included in the Matildas. And then the other big piece of news, which has sort of been developing, I guess, sort of over the last 24 hours, is Nestori Irankunda to Sporting Lisbon over in Portugal. The reported amount has been various amounts, somewhere within the, I think, 20 million to 25 million Australian dollar range. But regardless, I think the one main thing that's consistent is that if this is true, and it seems like it is, he will become the most expensive Australian player, Australian transfer in history. And it's quite extraordinary to a side in Watford in the Championship, moving to Sporting, who play Champions League football, made it to the knockouts of the Champions League. And I would hesitate to guess they wouldn't be spending 25 million Australian dollars if he wasn't going to be playing quite regularly, Mark.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, they're buying at that price. I mean, they're buying him as a starter, or at least a constant threat in that side. So at that price, I mean, I just hope Watford have got a nice sell-on clause, because I mean,
Adelaide United do too.
Well, yeah, and same with Bain, because I mean, Watford only paid 4 million for him. When I say only, like but paid about 4 million for him. So it's a nice return of investment for Watford. But yeah, it's fantastic to go to a probably considered a top 5 league in the world. I think Portugal is, or just outside of that.
Yeah, maybe it would be between them and France, maybe like that's 5th spot.
So it's right up there in terms of leagues of the world. So, and playing regular champions, and I mean Sporting normally in the Champions League. So it's great news. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Alessio, I mean, it's not something we haven't expected that he was eventually going to go to at some point in his career.
Yeah, and of course I think this season they just lost their other youngster Quenda to Chelsea, who was on a pre-transfer. So he was one who played a lot this season on the wing as a youngster, and they've obviously believed in youngsters in the past. We all know what happened with Ronaldo, etc. So hopefully they do that. But I mean, looking at the market these days, it's not impossible to see transfers for this price not being guaranteed starters. I mean, Chelsea buy about 4 or 5 of these players, 15 million every year, and never use them. So you never know. But
but Chelsea's a different beast altogether to a Sporting. Like a Sporting buys players to play them, whereas Chelsea buy players just to hoard them. So.
And I guess with that, it follows on neatly to my second pick, because he was also at Playford versus Adelaide United on Monday night. He was bombarded with fans to the point in which when we were on the top level of the scaffold at Playford. I think it was him and also Amlani Tattoo had to retreat to the second level. And as we looked down whilst commentating, it was just a horde of people looking at him, just trying to watch the game in the second level. It was quite extraordinary. But as I said, we were at Playford on Monday night. Being self-indulgent, I think in this case, we got to broadcast our first ever match of football, technically, on Monday night with the Adelaide United and Playford City friendly. We organised it within basically 24 hours, and basically just saying thank you to both Playford and Adelaide United for being really quick, really helpful. Adelaide United gave us Dylan Parias to have commentate alongside myself, which was really, really cool. And Playford, as we've expected over the past few years since they've become an NPL club and even a state league club, Joe just so hospitable to us as media and commentators. So really the perfect place to go to do something of that for the first time like us. And we'd love to do stuff like that even more often now that we've, I guess, proven that was sort of a test in a way, but it worked perfectly. Plenty of people listened and tuned in. And it was just, it was really, really good to see with a quick turnaround of how quickly we pulled it all together. And hope people enjoy it, and hopefully eventually we can do something again, whether that be with more friendlies or say come the Cup next year, we add video footage to it. It would be really, really, really good. So thank you to both Playford and Adelaide United. Hopefully more to come in the future. But just thank you. Both of the clubs, very, very friendly, very, very nice and super, super helpful in trying to contribute to that broadcast. Mark, I'll go to you.
Firstly, I just wanted to say how nice was that kit that Ella Tonkin was in. I'm sure Alessio probably was like, oh, I don't mind that kit, but no, very nice kit. I have to admit, that was the first time I'd seen it. I was like, oh, that's a nice kit. My pick of the week is actually courtesy of my sister. So shout out to my sister, Kylie Ann. Thank you for this. I was driving to pick up my daughter from dance only last night, and she messages me and goes, you need to check out Farmer Wants a Wife. And so I did. And I'm thinking, Seb, you've got some footage there, but I think you might recognize some people in the footage if it plays.
Yeah.
That there is Damien Stam, absolute Adelaide legend of the game. And there's young Riley Stam.
Hang on, I need to...
So, just to give some context, Damien Stam's daughter has been on Farmer Wants a Wife. And so this was the meet the parents scenario, and Riley is a cousin, so he was I dare say, quite happy to jump on and get into filming, knowing Riley. Quite happy to jump in and get into the filming of it. So, but no, it's, I just thought that was brilliant that we've got some Adelaide talent on TV and things like that. And so that's my pick of the week. That it was just, but yes, my sister goes, hey, did you know this? Who's on Farmer Wants a Wife? And I was like, no. And I checked it out, and there you go. So people my age will know Damien Stam. He's probably a little bit older than you guys, so I don't know if you would know him as a player, because I said he's a little bit older than me.
Mm-hmm.
But in his heyday, absolute fantastic player. He's got two brothers, Stephen and Anthony Stam, both played, and Anthony Stam actually played in the play for Ross Day. He was one of the goalkeepers. So family full of footballers, and obviously we've got Riley Stam now at West Adelaide, and his younger brother is at Adelaide United.
Yeah, Liam.
So, yes. So that's my pick of the week. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Good to see South Australian football getting mainstream television on Channel 7. Really, really good to see.
It doesn't normally happen.
Alessio, finally to you.
I've got a few things. This week's a big week. Obviously, I guess we'll go in chronological order. Friday night is the Hills Derby at the Summit. Massive game for both sides. A win for either of them would either take one above the other or one well clear of the bottom three. Obviously, some good memories, some good history, and some good results for us at home against the Hills Hawks. I won't try and preempt or put myself in the wrong situation by saying any stat lines we have there at the moment, but it's a big game. And it's going to be fantastic on a Friday night. Always brings actually quite a good crowd as well. And I'm not sure if they fixtured it on purpose, but the next day on the Saturday is the MPL at the Summit, where Adelaide United play their annual game at the Summit and bring another MPL team along. And that team is Sturt Lions, a team very close to me, knowing a lot of players there, previous player there myself. And it's always such a great day out as well. And it's great to see the venue filled with players, coaches, and even some fantastic football both sides of the pitch as well. Our reserves will be playing on that day as well, so it'll be a day full of football. Really excited to be part of both occasions, and for it to line up on a weekend where all they play at the same time is great. And then my final pick of the week is a bit of a funny one. I noticed this week in the goals wrap. I don't know if Seb's got it up there, but in the Adelaide City Croydon game, just watching as I think it was Oliver Trimboli scored the equaliser or maybe it was the first goal actually. Against Adelaide City. I'll wait for Seb to get it up, but something quite funny happened as
I have it coming up. First goal?
Yeah, I believe
is the one here.
I think it was it was a cross that came in and he hit it first time. And have a look at John Hall's hat here.
Is that a beach ball scenario? Can you call it that?
Oh no, not really. I mean, I would expect to come out after hitting his head, but I thought it was just quite funny that his whole hat flew off, and that was kind of what saved it first instance. And gave it to Oliver for a second try. But that was my other one, and that's it for me.
No, perfect. And we'll go into the rest of the results from the past weekend later on, including those two Australia Cup games with our South Australian teams involved as well. Oh, Oh, it's the knock at the door, and it sounds like it's coming from down your way.
Yeah, I think it might be. I'll be back in 1 second.
Wow, imagine my shock. I wonder who it could be if it's Mark having to answer the door.
Well,
he answered it very quickly too.
I was gonna say I did tonight. I was on the ball tonight. So joining us this evening is someone from the south. We've got Alex Rideout and Michael Goode from Cove.
Hey guys,
What an intro. Very, very good. Very much a pleasure to have the both of you on the show. Very much appreciated your time as well. As always, first question to both of our guests, as I always ask, take us through your footballing journey from when you were junior up until now. Alex, you can get us started.
Started at Panthers under 10s, and then went to Cumberland, I think under 15, 16s. And then, I played first team there when I was 17. And then, made the move to go to LA City. Damien Morin come in and wanted me to go play for him. So, went there, and then West Adelaide, then White City, and then South Adelaide, I think, for 5-6 years, and then at the Cove now.
Perfect.
But,
and Michael, for you?
Pretty easy one for me, to be honest with you. Started club soccer actually at Nalunga as a junior, quite late, and under 11s, and had a couple of years there. Then went to South, around under 13s. Went through the junior ranks down there, and through the senior setup, and played first team there for probably 10 plus years. And then the last couple of years down at Cove.
Perfect. And I guess sort of the next question is, of course, you had the derby on the weekend against South Adelaide. Was a 2-2 draw between the two sides. Your perspective on it from the both of you again, Alex, you can get us started with, I guess, how you saw the match from your eyes.
I felt like, South had more control. Obviously, they're fighting to stay up, which is a different feeling to us trying to make the top 6. But we didn't attack like we should have. We've got good attacking threat, and I just felt like we sat in and let them play around the back lines a bit. It was I think it would have been a boring game to watch. So sorry for anyone to watch that game.
Michael, would you agree with that? It was a boring game. I didn't say it.
I thought the last 15, 20 minutes was pretty exciting in terms of, just two teams clearly needing the win. Like Alex said, that it's probably a grand final for both of us, almost in terms of getting 3 points for us to get into the finals and them to stay up, and a draw doesn't really do anyone a favour. But like Alex said, they probably had better of the chances attacking wise, especially at the end there. One of their imports there put one over the bar from about 6 yards out, and any other day he's probably putting that in the net. So luckily for us, that didn't go in. So
No, absolutely. And then I guess sort of go to a few days earlier, we spoke about Adelaide United playing against Playford 2 days ago now. You also got to play against Adelaide United a few days before your game against South Adelaide. We spoke a bit about it in the pre-show, but I guess your perspective on matches like that, how do you approach them? Is an opportunity, especially you're both older players as well. It must be a different sort of feeling. I'm honest.
Right.
How do you approach those types of games, Alex? Again, starting with you.
Well, I'm actually a painter, so I sort of work till about 12 o'clock, and thought, if I'm going to give myself half a chance to play against these guys, I've got to make sure my body's decent. But look, they played their full side the first half, and seeing Ryan Kiddo playing on him when he used to be at Cumberland, and I used to help my dad coach him. It was just crazy to see that turnaround and how far he's come, and he's still a good, genuine person. And it was very, very good to play on him. And he even poked me in the eye, and I said to him, who's going to cover my work bill? So I couldn't see. He got me good, but just the pace of it, it was good to see the level they're at, and for them to play around on our pitch. I've been using it as an excuse, but they they come and still pass the ball around pretty well. So credit to them.
And then Michael as well, I guess the big point of these games, also the community aspect, getting all the juniors and all the club people. How is that to experience as well? You know, it is probably a bigger crowd than you would get during a regular league game because of the big boys coming to town, basically.
Yeah, and in the lead up to it, you think it's a bit of a distraction from the league, but when you get there on the night and you see all the families that come down from various locations, and it's not very often we get to see Adelaide United play down south. So not only for our club, the Cove, it's a great night for all the juniors in the area, and having that atmosphere. We knew they weren't there for us. We're there for one thing, and that's to see the pros at it. But it's just it's a great night to be a part of, and the Adelaide boys were great, and we wish them all the best for the year and hope they represent South Australia well and go as far as they can.
Absolutely. Me, Alessio and David got to go to the friendly with you guys in Adelaide United last year, and it was a great atmosphere. Plenty of lovely people around the club, plenty of the juniors around. It was really, really good to see that night. Mark, for your questions.
Well, the first one is sort of aimed at both of you. See, I grew up in the north. I've moved to the south as I got older in life. But question for you both: you both are South boys from juniors and things like that. What have you seen in terms of development down south? What do you feel the general feel around the place is about development down the south in terms of juniors and things like that? Because obviously you both see a lot at the Cove. The Cove have got something like 750 juniors, I think it is. So you would obviously see them about at training and things like that. And what do you think we can do to improve that down south? Because obviously, as you boys know, especially yourself, Alex, you moved down the hill to get into a better side back then. Is there things we can do down south to want to keep them up the hill effectively?
Yeah, I'll go. Just we help out the juniors when we can, and look, I think it's hard to get good coaches and I know volunteers, and that most of them never played soccer before. So just to see that they try. But I feel the more the senior people can get out and jump in the session and give some guidance of why they're doing this, and the mistakes they make while they're making that mistake. Because it's hard to get out there, but once you see a kid keep doing the same thing, they're gonna grow up and make them same mistakes. But look, I just think the knowledge of football, down the south is not as good as down the hill. So I think that's where we struggle with, but it's slowly getting better. And I know a lot of ex-players that are coaching their sons now down south. So, a lot of positive with that. And you can see the knowledge of what they're trying to do down there.
Yeah, similar to how, like, when we were coming through juniors, you could have anyone that hasn't really been involved in the game coaching you, and I think now there have been some improvements. Like Sammy Carmichael down with us is our junior technical director, and he meets regularly with the coaches and plans sessions and tries to have the club kind of playing the same way, and that was kind of unheard of back when we were in juniors. So I do think there are definitely some improvements, and I know there's other clubs that have those junior technical directors that are heavily involved. But I think like what Alex has mentioned there, having some ex-players, whether like they played in the game locally for a while in the first team, come back and coach some junior teams is a good step forward. And hopefully we can see it can continue to improve like it has over the last couple of years, but there's still a little way to go, I think.
No, I think I agree with both of you there in the fact that it could be done better, but it's a learning curve and it's going to take time. It leads on to my next question, which is aimed for you, Goode, is you earn a living by being a teacher. Do you get students coming to you asking for advice, knowing that you played at a good level in football in the state? As a lot of them obviously are just starting their career in seniors, like they're sort of playing 18s and reserves, and even some obviously could be playing first team somewhere. But do they come to you for advice? Do you have to deal with any of them at your own club? Like, you're going, oh, bugger, I teach that kid and now he's playing in my team. Like, do you have that issue?
No, none of the ones that I currently teach at the moment play on my team, but one of the lads does play in the 18s. So I see him a fair bit and chat to him in class about how things are going. But some of the other boys that play around, I often chat to them and see how they're going. And, if they're obviously enjoying it, it's great to hear. But if they're, hit a bit of a roadblock, or kind of debrief with them and just kind of share my experience with them, whether they're interested in that and take something from that's up to them. But, I've been in their shoes before and can understand some frustrations when, they feel like they're probably not getting an opportunity, and just, being patient and, keep believing that they're confident and they'll get there.
Jeez, I wish I had a teacher like that when I was in school. That's for sure. Jeez. Tell you what, but they must really appreciate that, because I tell you what, it'd be such a benefit for them to, like I said, to be able to draw on that experience. We've had the likes of Dan Mullen and Alex Mullen both work in schools across the state, and again, it's that same boat of them being able to rely on those teachers to be able to go, oh, what can we do? So that's awesome. Next question, Alex. I'm going to go back a little bit here. You've played in some fantastic sides over your career. Two in particular, Adelaide City. Obviously, you're at Adelaide City, and I believe you're a part of the team that beat Western Sydney in that cup. What do you remember that night? And then the other one is you're part of the West Adelaide side that won titles. And what was that like?
I'll start with the LA City one. I think we just Maury had us believing that we could just go out there and enjoy the night and take it all in. And look, we had the players all right, and Bucco, and obviously Tom Love scored that goal, and Halliday the team was just unbelievable. So you go against any team with that sort of lineup, you sort of, I don't know, you get a weird bit of confidence. And that night it was just a massive crowd, and just to be a part of that, look back and the videos come up, and I still don't skip by. I watch everyone. I watched it about 20 times, but it's just going to be good to be a part of that. But and then with West Adelaide, look, the competition was every training session. If you were tired and you missed a pass, you look like an idiot. You got Ricky was there, Briscoe, Joe Wright, Robbie Lipper, Moss, the Perry, the whole group. So the passing drills were just 100%. Like if you missed the pass, it's embarrassing. And Pezos just had us all playing at a level where expectations were high. And I remember him saying to me a few times, Alex, you got 5 minutes to do something, otherwise you're coming off. And the game's just started. And thank God I put a few crosses in for Briscoe, and he ended up, getting the glory of my balls. But he's a goal scorer, and it worked well for him. But it was a great team. And look, we still got a group chat going on, which is we still keep the memories going there, and we still think we could back most sides that that these days that we could beat.
Funny enough, talking about that whole team as well. The expectation there, you mentioned about Pezos going, if you don't do something in 5 minutes, then you're off. Do you feel that that's changed now? Do you find that coaches don't put those pressures on the younger players now? Because that's what I found as well. When I was at Raiders, I had Branko Milosevic, and he'd say to me, if you haven't put 10 crosses in by half time, you're off in 45 minutes. So I had 45 minutes to put 10 crosses in. But if I didn't, I was off the pitch. Do you find that doesn't happen for both of you? Do you find that doesn't happen anymore?
Definitely doesn't happen anymore. I think it's the way it's hard because you're trying to encourage a player, but then you're not telling them the truth because you don't know how the truth's going to go with them. And look, I think when the parents get involved, I think it's definitely changed. I think it's gone massively different to what it was.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's changed. I remember when I was coming through, like 16 years old, I probably didn't speak for 2 seasons and picked up gear every night. And I'm now nearly 31, and I've gone back to picking gear up, I feel, most nights. So it's almost gone full circle. So it's definitely changed for me, I reckon.
And lastly, from me, the last question I've got, which is aimed at both of you. You're both coming to the twilight of your career. Sort of, you've both still got a few years left. Playing at the top level, at the levels like NPL, State League 1 and State League 2. What's next? What's the next step for you guys? Is it going to be into football administration? Is it going to be coaching? Is it you just going to step away, or are you going to join some like us and join the media? What's the plan for the two of you?
For me, I've always had an interest of I want to keep playing as long as I can. And my body, I see people like Ricky still playing, that Fabian still played at high age, so they give me aspirations to keep going. But I think I'd like to get into bringing players to club and signing them and being like an agent. I've been doing it nearly my whole career anyway, so I feel I might be able to get paid for actually doing it these days.
Yeah, and for me, similar to Alex, I want to play as long as I can. I got 2 young kids now, and my 3-year-old son absolutely loves coming down and watching. That sort of gives you like a new lease of life to go. There's a patch there where I was getting injured a fair bit in the last couple of years at South and didn't know really what I was going to do. And then I've moved to Cove, and I reckon I've only missed 2 games through injury in 2 years. So, yeah, body's feeling good. But when I finally do decide to hang him up, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind getting involved in a bit of commentary or doing some sort of this stuff that you guys do. I don't really have any aspirations to coach. So if I don't get into this sort of stuff, I reckon a nice break from it after playing it my whole life wouldn't be too bad of an idea.
Oh, there's always the opportunity to join media. Trust me, we're always looking for new talents. That's for sure. So you're welcome to join us. That's a given. So, but that's all from me.
My mind, mate.
Alessio, to you.
Yeah, I guess I'll first just open it to both of you. We're talking about playing in teams and clubs that were quite far away from others and how to keep teams there. Both of you are involved in quite a few championship teams from very southern clubs or very clubs that might have not had a lot of success before you guys came. What do you put the success down to, and how did you manage to have such a successful group where you didn't pick so many players from just pay them to come into the team and get to the promotion? Like, you guys dealt with what you had and then got the success from it. But what do you put those championship teams down to?
You go, Mike.
You want me to go? Oh, yeah, I'll go. For me, the couple of like state league titles that I won during my time at South, and coming late to Cove and doing them in state league 2 and going on to win the final there. It's just like the same thing that I've noticed is the group dynamic. You go out to the pitch and every single one on your team is going to put everything they can on the field, and like you come off knowing that everyone's given it their all and everyone's got your back. And then especially those 2 years at South, I reckon there was 1 year where we just, I don't know, we couldn't stop winning for a period of time there, and we would go out on a Saturday after a game, enjoy a few drinks after a win, have a dinner, and go back again next week. And we literally spend a lot of time together outside of soccer after games, and just having that camaraderie together, I think is a massive difference between teams that go on to win things.
Yeah, I think it's massively you can get coaches in, but I feel like if a coach has a group's respect, it will get you them results that you wouldn't think you would get. Again, another thing is keeping players happy. You've got a 14, 15-man squad to keep everyone around for the whole year. It's very hard to do because no one likes sitting on the bench, and because it's not full-time, people just want to play. So it's hard to get that whole squad for the whole year. And if you can manage that and you know how to manage your players correctly, I think that's a massive part. And also just having each other's back on the pitch and playing for each other, I guess.
Yeah, I'll go individually now. For Alex, probably a question I'm not sure you have been asked before, but what have you and your brother taught each other about your games? I mean, you're very different players, had very different careers starting from the start to where you are now as well. What are some things you've learned from each other along the way?
I guess obviously me and Jade have been playing together for probably 8 or 9 years now. It's just we just know each other. He knows, his game's better when I get on the ball, and he is a bit more of a mongrel player where I'm not. It's just, I think we just have that weird brother knowledge where he just knows where to run when I got the ball, and I know where to lay it. Sometimes for him I don't get the ball, I don't even bother running, but that's a respect. I've learned that over the years. You know, when he's dribbling with the ball, let him do his thing, and yeah, I'm sort of one to make him look good, I guess.
And for Michael, forgive me if I'm not right, but in the grand final that Cove played, did you play that game?
No, I was actually injured. I injured myself in the semi-final and probably the last 30 seconds of the game or something close to that.
Yeah, I thought I had remembered that there was a major out in that game. So I guess going into the next few seasons with Cove, that's one of your ambitions is to get back on the park and play in some of those big games in finals again and hopefully push them towards another promotion where you're involved in a grand final.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like Cove, like to play finals in State League 1 and push for, hopefully MPL in the near future. That, if you said that probably 3 or 4 years ago, most people would look at you in disbelief. But, from our perspective, we've got pretty big tasks the last 4 games. But if we're not playing finals this year, that personally, I think that's a bit disappointing for us as a playing group. You look at the players we have and the hard work we've been doing since pre-season. We do feel like we deserve to be there. So hopefully we can get, some wins the next couple of weeks and really give ourselves a good chance to make sure we're in that top 6. And then, like you all know, once you're in the top 6, it's just who's good on the day and anything can happen in finals.
Awesome. I guess one of the final ones. It's good we got you guys both on tonight because I know, Michael, you're very good in the air and a lot of headers. And Alex, I was wondering, is he who you practice those corners with at training and he just has to keep heading the ones that don't find the target out?
Yeah, I blame the pitch.
And yeah, my last one I ask everybody, if you couple of names, best players you've played with and best you played against. And you can't say your brother, Alex.
I'll never say him, even if I thought it.
Yeah.
Gee, Phil be feeling a bit hard done by them, won't he?
Yeah, I better add my other brothers in too. Now, for me, has to be. I've got to name 2. It's got to be all right, and obviously Ricky. I have to say them too.
Yeah, for me, like what JJ does on the score sheet is probably the best striker I've been with. And another guy that played for South, a visa player, I'm not sure if you guys recognise the name, Adam Thurston, a couple of years ago down at South, centre midfielder. He came over for a couple of years in his first season. He just, absolutely smashed it and played a massive role in getting us promoted in one of those years. Yeah.
That's all from me. Thanks, guys.
Perfect. Mark, Alessio, you all done with your questions?
Yep.
Perfect. I guess with that, we really appreciate both of your time for coming on the show. It's very much appreciated. Good luck for the rest of the season. Well, good luck for this weekend against Cobras. We wish you guys all the best. I know David's a big fan of being able to head down to Cove, so if you do make finals, I'm sure he'll be the first to put his name up to go to that scaffold in which he adores so much. But yeah, anything from you guys before we finish, I guess?
Yeah, basically, thanks guys for doing what you do. It's good to tune in and see what you do around the leagues, and for people at Cove, we know what we've got to do, and the club always backs us, which is good to have that. They don't get on our backs when we're not winning, and it goes both ways, and a lot of respect for that.
Yeah,
Michael,
thanks. Obviously, thanks for inviting us on tonight. And like Alex said, I know you probably heard it a few times, but the football community probably don't put into words what the thanks that we have for you guys and the work that you do. We really appreciate it, and having something like this is pretty awesome for our game and helping our game grow. So thanks again.
No, we absolutely love doing it, and like I said, it's always great to have guests on. Always makes our show better, and always gives us a bit more fun things to talk about as well.
It certainly does.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you the both again. Good luck for a season, and good luck for this weekend as well. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Good chat with those two. I nearly had myself muted again. Really, really good fun as always. We'll go through the results of the past weekend, and we'll start off with the two big fixtures, I guess, in the past week, the two South Australian sides in the Australia Cup. Unfortunately, neither going through to the next round, but we'll start with last week's game between Beergrad and North Sunshine Eagles. I'll sort of just let the highlights roll through as we talk about them. But overall, of course, I guess overall fairly disappointing that neither side from our state leagues, I suppose you can call them, have gone through round of 16. Beergrad probably the closer out of the two. Alessio, we were there. The Albanian fans that were either here or travelled over created a brilliant atmosphere. And it was a great match to attend, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen plenty of these games, the local games we've seen at the big stadiums, Marden, Service FM, the Parks, West Beach as well. But see at a suburban ground where there's literally like houses next door, a dog park next door. Seeing that many fans there is just unbelievable. And I think it's just going to show that for FK Beergrad, their facilities, if they want to host more games like this, maybe they've got to improve a bit as well. I mean, those stands were full, but they're not very big stands. I know they've had plans in the future to fix them or to create larger ones with more capabilities as well. But I thought it was a good outing for the fans. I mean, the game I would say was not the greatest, a bit sloppy. Obviously, the other team was on top of the game. They got close in this game, Beergrad, but they were behind the whole day and didn't really look like they were the better team on any occasion. But it's always tough to back up a cup final extra time performance. And then we'll talk about the result on the weekend later. But it's always tough, especially with some changes forced into the team as well as some performances that were impossible to ignore. But all props to the Albanian team. There's a big Albanian contingent of fans here in Adelaide. So they carried a lot of them there and good on them. I mean, if we were in their position, a bottom-ranked State League 1 team coming against a top-flight, top-4 MPL team in another state, and you do a performance like this, all props to them to celebrate the way they did. Well, there was obviously some stuff after the game that wasn't necessary and some aggression shown towards officials and stuff, which wasn't really warranted. But otherwise, I think it was a game played on the park in fairly even and fair circumstances.
Yeah, Mark, you probably had the better perspective out of the two of us watching on the broadcast. How did you see it from your angle? I guess also from the atmosphere perspective and also, of course, the match itself.
Yeah, look, of what I saw, the atmosphere was absolutely outstanding, and you can even see in the footage there, like we're talking 4 and 5 rows deep all the way around the pitch. Yeah. It just shows you what can be produced, even at obviously at the state league, and when I say state league, I mean that just the leagues in general in each state, what they can produce. The football, unfortunately not the greatest result for FK Beergrad, but still a good showing to show what they can do. And again, I think, and I don't say this lightly, I think if they had probably a little bit more squad depth, I think it could be a very different scenario. I just think at the moment they're lacking in squad depth, and and I think they'll be the first ones to say that. But overall, I mean, it's a unfortunate result, but I still think it showed a pretty good indication of SA football to a degree. Like,
I was just going to bring up a point as well. You brought out squad depth, but it is also, and again, it's not making excuses on behalf of Beergrad, but they had also played arguably the biggest game of the season, other than the grand final, the cup final, a few days earlier. We know they celebrated as much as, of course, they're allowed to. Yep. And a quick turnaround for a game such as that. And I think we've had the cup final in June in previous years. I think as recently as 2023, maybe we had the cup final in June. So whether or not is that something, because I think I brought up the stat one of our chats that we've only had one state side other than Adelaide United since 2023 make it past the round of 32, being Metro Stars last year or something like that. Campbelltown went out, Metro went out at Modbury.
I think they need a bigger gap, especially considering the magnitude of the two games, because you've got a cup final, and again that went extra time, and then they had 3 days. I'm all for more games and playing midweek games, But when you've got two games of that magnitude, I think there needs to be a bit of a space. If it's just a standard league game, and then that game, big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a game of that magnitude for cup final, and then that, I think it makes it very difficult.
Alicia?
I think as well, an interesting thing to note, I'm not sure if it's confirmed or not, but as they were playing a VPL 1 team, second tier team, I don't believe the squad rules of under 23 players apply to the second division in Melbourne. So depth and quality as well. They can sign players. Can't remember if the visa rules are even the same for the second tier for there, but they can sign players and have a bench full of experienced players and rotate through more than we can here because it was a top flight team. So that's another interesting thing to note, but nothing we can change about it now.
No.
Yeah, no, overall, North Sunshine Eagles deserving of the win. And as we said, Beergrad, again, probably just not their night and maybe just not beneficial that they had arguably, the second biggest game of the season for them a few days earlier as well. Yeah. We'll go right across to last night's game where we had our second division representatives in Cumberland United play against arguably the next team you want to play against in terms of size in Heidelberg United, the runners-up from last year. Again, Cumberland just struggling a little bit. The goal came a minute in. It was a great goal. Again, Mark, your thoughts?
Well, I didn't actually get to see any of this game last night at all because I was coaching my under-11s and then I was doing some goalkeeper coaching. So I didn't get to see any of it. And by the time I got home, the group chat had gone nuts with all the scores and you boys were all talking about it. And I was like, well, I didn't get to see any of it. So this is the first time I'm even seeing the goals. But again, it is a shame. We knew Cumberland were up against Heidelberg. I mean, yes, they're probably the next very small step down from the A-League.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's a decent step between the two, but these guys are just surely so close to A-League. It's not funny. Like they could be playing in the A-League week in, week out, and they'd be doing okay. So it's one of those things where they were certainly up against it. And again, it looks like a good crowd, a relatively good crowd on a Tuesday night as well, which is fantastic, just to show that Adelaide will get supporters regardless of the fact that Cumberland playing, and not everyone supports Cumberland week in, week out, but for this occasion, they're going to support Cumberland.
Let's hear.
Yeah, I didn't really get to watch this one either. It was just finishing by the time I got home. But by all accounts, there was, I think Johnny told me the crowd there was just over 1,000 that ticked through the gate, which is great to see as well. Another venue right in suburbia as well, which is really cool to see. I know a lot of neutrals who just live around that area of Cumberland Park rocked up to the game as well. But yeah, you could see a vast difference in expertise as well in this game. And all props to Heidelberg. They'll have a long season ahead of them. But for Cumberland, they could finally put this cup journey behind them and hopefully focus on the league, where if they want to be in these occasions more often, then they'll get promoted and play in that top flight again. I think they're definitely, by what we've seen in the limited games we've seen, they're definitely ready for that step up. And I hope to see them in the NPL again, because they're a club that when they were up here, up there in the NPL, they've had some great moments, some great players, and produced a lot of the players that we see around the leagues now. So it'd be great to see it.
And let's hope as well, if they do end up making finals, and again we get to commentate on those finals matches, that they do keep that scaffold, so Alessio doesn't have to go on the roof like he did a few years back in their game against Salisbury United. Let's hope it's a big scaffold too, just as like it's a Beergrad. Just
want to shout out on. I think it was brilliant. Was the referees kit? I don't know if it's the retro kit, but it's the retro kit. It just reminds me, and the older players of sort of my generation that will remember, and it reminds me of like the Barry Pinella and some of those older referees, their era. And it just was like, I was like, I saw it and I was like, oh, that is just lovely to see it back. So I just wanted to highlight that because I thought that was a great touch, to be honest.
Just managed to bring it up in time. There's the retro referee kit that was worn, and I think is worn across all the Australia Cup games. And also to mention as well, for both of the home South Australian ties, full South Australian refereeing staff as well. Tom Brinkworth was in charge of the Beergrad and North Sunshine game. And then Jaden Benneman was in charge of the Cumberland and Heidelberg game, and both did very well. In both, there was an advantage played for the second Heidelberg goal by Jaden, which was brilliantly done. And of course, Tom Brinkworth, in the environment that the match itself was, I think dealt with it fairly well. So congratulations to those. And of course, the assistant referees, the fourth official, the assessors in those two matches as well. We'll go on to our league action for this past weekend, starting in the State League 2 in the north. Elizabeth Downs drawing 1-1 with Elizabeth Grove. Barossa and Anglevale also drawing 1-1. Northern Demons losing 2-0 to Pontian Eagles. Port Adelaide and Mulberry Vista drawing 0-0. And Salisbury Inter and Gawler Eagles also another 1-1 draw. Mark, plenty of surprising results in the north, in a league which that top four is becoming very separated from the rest of the table.
It certainly is in the north. I mean, you look at the ladder and the top four, there's a clear dividing line there. You've got Pontian's top, Salisbury Inter in second, Mulberry Vista in third, and Elizabeth Downs in fourth. But they're 38 to 28 points, 10-point gap between first and fourth, 8 points between fourth and fifth. So big sort of dividing line there. Elizabeth Downs, probably the form team at the current moment. Obviously, they're 4 wins in their last 5. So a bit of a surprise for me is that they did draw with Grove, who have struggled a little bit of late. Only 2 positive or 2 draws in the last 2 and 2 losses. So a bit of a surprise there. Salisbury Inter, a bit of to be honest, a big surprise against Gawler Eagles. Only getting a point there. And the other one, obviously, Mulberry Vista getting a draw with Demons. So that one, again, a little bit of a surprise considering there's a 10-point gap 9-point gap between the two. So great news for Port, clean sheet. I did see that actually re-signed Blake Ennett.
Yeah, former Pontian goalkeeper.
Yeah, he left Port last year to go back to Pontians, and now he's back to Port I believe in the transfer window. Pontian's just carrying on their way. They did lose last week, and then they've got the result against Northern Demons 2-0. And then Anglevale and Barossa playing out a draw apiece, both of them really struggling down there. I mean, Anglevale better than Barossa on 13 points, but you would expect Anglevale to win that in the current circumstance, 13 points. But in saying that, they've both been quite poor, obviously, before that draw, 4 losses. So nothing really out of the ordinary there, but a couple of surprise results in terms of draws, more so than losses for those top tier, or when I say top tier, the top 4 clubs.
Yeah.
So.
Both, of course, new clubs in Anglevale and Barossa as well.
Yes.
Alessio, I did message you. It was quite funny. I'm pretty sure, and again, this is how much research we do. I haven't done the maths properly because I'm hopeless when it comes to permutations, doing the maths myself. Fairly sure Pontian can secure first this weekend with a win, and I thought it meant promotion, but again, with the State League 2 system, it did not. It just means they're guaranteed to play in the final if they do win, I think.
Well, it's not the final, it's the playoff final.
The playoff final, sorry, yeah, not the final, yes. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure, if they win their game, then even if Salisbury Inter win their game, it will still be 8 points. But that massive game for next week, Salisbury Inter versus Elizabeth Downs, because if Elizabeth Downs win that one, they almost secure top 4 and the rest of the league has nothing to play for. Because Northern Demons got that game against Grove, which is probably winnable for them. And they'll keep it going for another 2 weeks to see if they can make finals. But with that 8-point gap between Demons and Grove, it's becoming pretty obvious, those top 4. I've got to say, though, for Barossa, good on them picking up another point. They found it really difficult this year, but they picked up some points this season, and all props to them. I know how hard it is, and where they are located as well is always going to be difficult to pick up players in your first season. And from the Sassel division they came from as well, it's very difficult for them. But all props to them. They've got a great facility. I think they're going to go only on the up, especially with the stuff I'm hearing about their coaching and about the players they've come through their system. So all props to them. And we'll see what the rest of the North has to offer.
Yeah, again, both of those, including Anglevale, first-time clubs in the FSA leagues, of course, with a few more to come next year as well. We'll go to the south of State League 2 in round 15. Garn defeating the Hills Hawks 2-1 at the Hawks Nest. Mount Barker at the Summit defeated 4-1 by Seaford Rangers. Vipers defeating Plimpton 9-1. Adelaide Titans losing 3-0 to Adelaide Uni. And Noarlunga United defeated at home 3-2 against Western Strikers. Alessio.
Yeah, I guess I'll start with I'll just start with one club because they had 3 fixtures since our last recording, and that's Vipers, and they've won them all. So they had to keep them all because that puts them top of the league, and now with everybody on their games in hand, it keeps them 1 point with a tough few games to go, while Garn have to play the bottom 2 sides in their last 3 games. So they're really hoping that they slip up there. But for Vipers, they beat Western Strikers 3-2 away on Tuesday last week. Then obviously that massive win over Plimpton helped their goal difference comfortably as well. And then last night they beat Adelaide Hills Hawks 1-0 as well. So that put them to the top of the table and a great win streak as well since that loss a couple of weeks ago. So good up, all good to them. Garn United, they just about came away with a win, a 97th minute winner against Adelaide Hills Hawks. A massive one in terms of their promotion chase. And they'll be an interesting team if they are in the final series. I mean, from where they were previously, I don't think they made finals in the North last season. So coming to the South, they've really dominated this season and had a lot of crazy fixtures as well that we've seen. Next up is Adelaide Uni. They've toed and froed with a couple of results this week, but after that one, they've put a lot of pressure on the Western Strikers and Noarlunga. I believe if Noarlunga don't win on the weekend against Vipers, then that all but confirms that it's between the top 5 to make the top 4.
Think so.
But yeah, Adelaide Uni, big win for them. Henry Heaney, a player they've signed in the off-season, mid-season transfer window actually, and he's scored a double in that game and really provided a lot of impetus since he's come through mid-season. Seaford Rangers obviously beating Mount Barker team 4-1. They came from 1-0 down as well and just scored goals right in between the half, which is just a killer. I mean, 5 minutes before halftime, scored the equaliser, and then 2 minutes after that, the go-ahead goal, and then 5 minutes after the break, a third, and it just kind of killed us. Tried to push for another one remaining in the game, but Ollie Grant scored his second and kind of sealed things off. Western Strikers versus Noarlunga, a late night game there. It was quite back and forth. Strikers 2-0 up, and then got a third brought back by Callum Elms to make it 3-2. But a massive win for them, and I think they've done quite well in their rescheduled fixtures. While for Noarlunga, as you can see, their stat line there, it was updated after their recent one, but 4 losses in a row for them after doing so well and leading in that top 4 race. If they miss out on finals this season, I think it would be a chance missed for them. They had a lot of signings in the off season, new coaching staff, a whole new direction of the club as well, involving a lot of their past players, past championship teams, reserves and under 18s as well, which both of them are doing quite well. I think their reserves actually top of the reserves league, which is always good to see. But they've got, a very, very tough game against Vipers away this weekend, where if they don't take maximum points, they're pretty much out of the finals.
Absolutely. So, not too long left in the State League 2 to find out who will be playing in that first off promotion playoff final at the moment. Currently sitting between Vipers and, I forgot for a second there, Pontian, sorry. Vipers and Pontian. We'll go on to the WSL for round 17. Western Strikers defeated 1-0 by Adelaide Jaguars. Adelaide City getting it done 2-0 against Elizabeth Grove. South Adelaide defeated 2-0 by Modbury Jets, and Sturt Lions versus the Cove. Sturt defeating the Cove 4-2. Alessio, but we kept an eye on this fixture as the Cove were 2-0 up for quite a period of time.
Crazy comeback there for Sturt Lions, and it just goes to show that they're really up for this promotion race. Puts them in a great position now with only a couple of games to go. Obviously, Adelaide City have those games in hand, which will make things a bit more interesting come the end of the season. But as you can see, Sturt Lions, the way they're going this season, no matter when they go behind in games, they seem to pull it back to at least a draw or even get the win. But obviously, they're new recruits as well. Jazz Styles getting that last goal. They've really even strengthened in that mid-season when you're top of the league and you can bring in players like that. I think they've got all chance to get promoted, and Adelaide City as well, picking up another win themselves. So I think, as you can see, it's pretty much well clear that they're the top two of this league. And as we've said many times, and so as other commentators, I think we could possibly see for the first time ever 2 teams promoted from the WSL.
Yeah, Mark, I'll go to you on this. With all due respect to both Modbury Vista and Metro Stars, these two sides in Sturt and Adelaide City, they're so strong in terms of personnel. And again, in this league, as you can see, that they're dominating the rest. And we saw even Sturt Lions in the Cup. They took West Adelaide a 6-3 defeat, but it's been the only time that West Adelaide, I think, have conceded more than once in a match all season this year, including the game in which they lost to Campbelltown. So I really think that regardless of if it is Sturt in first or Adelaide City in first, whoever's in that second spot really has a great chance to be promoted in the playoff.
Yeah. We said this a couple of seasons ago that it was probably the first time, I can't remember if it was last season or season before, that it was probably one of the best chances that 2 teams would go up. And we were proven wrong quite heavily that year.
Yeah.
But when you look at this season and the way things have gone in the WNPL and how things are going in the WSL, it really is, again, I think this is the season where it very well could be the 2 teams, because Sturt and Adelaide City are just so strong. They are such a strong pairing. Like it is game for game. Adelaide City have still got 2 games to play, but they play those 2 games, and depending on goal difference, they could effectively go top. So it's just one of those things where those 2 are clear and above everyone else. I mean, it's 10 points between second and third, so it's such a clear difference. And again, the way the teams have been playing in the WPL, like we know Flinders, I'm not sure if they're mathematically down yet, but they're.
I think they are. I think they might be.
Yeah, so they're down. But then you look at the 2 teams, and it's Vista and Metro Stars, and they've got to be watching over their shoulder because they haven't set the world alight this year so far in the WNPL. And when you've got a team like Sturt and Adelaide City chomping at the bit to get back in, that it's going to be very tight. And that game, I think, whoever ends up second and whoever ends up second bottom, that's a clash that needs to be watched. Be it Adelaide City, be it Sturt, be it Metro, be it Modbury Vista, because I tell you what, it'll be a fantastic game regardless. So really actually looking forward to that. The rest of the league, obviously, South losing 2-0 to Modbury Jets, sitting bottom, but it seems to be a common occurrence for South at this stage where they'll make it. Some of their games have been quite close in terms of scoreline. They're losing by the odd goal or 2. But it always seems to be late goals. They seem to get to like that 60, 70-minute mark, and then they start to stumble a little bit. And in this case on the weekend, it was an own goal in the 66th minute that sort of toppled them, and then another goal, 73 minutes. So a lot of young players in that side, but hopefully they'll learn from that. A big win for Jags, because that moves them 2 points clear of Western Strikers, their nearest rivals, effectively. Modbury Jets now sort of 3 points clear. So a good win for Adelaide Jags there over Western Strikers. And I think, and we spoke about Adelaide City beating Elizabeth Grove, an expected result. Unfortunately, Grove sitting down in 7th. But big things to come from Elizabeth Grove. I think they're getting some new facilities out there.
Yes.
The long-time Daubers stepped down. He's stepping down at the end of the year, so it'll be a fresh coach for the women's team, and probably some new ideas and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see how that all goes for Elizabeth Grove moving forward. But very exciting to see for them.
No, absolutely, very much so. We'll go on to the State League 1 for round 18. Fulham United defeated 3-1 by Cumberland on the Thursday night in order to be kind for Cumberland for their cup game they played last night. Croatia Raiders defeating Eastern United 3-0. Salisbury United defeated 3-2 by Modbury Jets. Atletico defeated 1-0 by Adelaide Olympic. Blue Eagles and Cobras playing out a 0-0 draw. And South Adelaide and the Cove playing out a 2-2 over at South Adelaide. I will try to start off with Salisbury United and Modbury Jets ended 3-2. in the perspective of Modbury Jets, they're still trying to see if they can get that first spot. They're a point behind Fulham in third and 2 behind Olympic in second. And with this winner only helps, of course. Salisbury United, though, they really need to start getting the results. There's 4 games left. They've got Eastern United this upcoming weekend, who sit in 10th if they want any chance of closing that gap for their sake and also for South Adelaide's sake. It's a must-win this weekend for Salisbury United and, of course, for South Adelaide anyway. But much more winnable, I guess, when you look at the table in terms of Salisbury United's perspective. And you can see they can still score goals, Salisbury. Again, it's just I'm not sure what's gone wrong, whether it's injuries or just whatever is at Salisbury United, but again, just hasn't seemed to click. And again, this is really crucial times for this club to stay up in the division, a club which we all predicted would be in contention for promotion, if not the top spot this season. It's quite an extraordinary turn of events between these two sides. And Modbury Jets fairly safe in the promotion spots, but again, the State League One table still quite insane in terms of how close it is. Basically, first until 8th down to Cove. There's a gap between them and Cobras in 9th, so it's sort of that 9th to 12th place that are those relegation contenders, and 8th to 1st that are those finals contenders, really. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. But yeah, good win for Modbury, and Salisbury somewhat close again, but they need to make it count this upcoming weekend against Eastern United. Mark?
I could jump on. I actually tuned into the South Cove game, so I can jump across. I'll head from the north to the south. How does that sound? Good. South Adelaide coming away with a 2-2 draw for that game. South Cove took the lead through JJ Rideout in as early as the 8th minute, so it wasn't the best start for Souths, needing to fight off relegation. But then they managed to get one level through young Papa Giorgio, and then the experienced Conroy equalising, scoring the second goal and going ahead just after half time. And then JJ doing what he does and scoring another goal in the 60th minute. Very well taken goal from JJ, as we'll see shortly. So young Papa Giorgio there, I think that would have been probably his first goal, or he probably hasn't scored many in the first team, but he came on actually. The plan was, I don't think he was supposed to be starting that game, but due to other circumstances, he came in, started, and did fantastically well. And like I said, then the experience of Conroy here, just waiting for that ball, great finish in the end. But Souths, to be honest, I know that Alex was talking about that they didn't have control of the game as well as they would have liked. But to be honest, by the end of the game, South should have probably come away with the win. They had, I think, 3 chances late in the game to score, and even Alex said one of the inputs, which was Sonny, he blasted over the bar from about 6 yards. But on another day, he's putting that in the back of the net. Quality striker that he is. So it was one of those days. But South had some great opportunities at the end that they just didn't convert. And again, we go back to that relegation battle where I can guarantee you South will be hoping Salisbury get the win over Eastern United to keep them where they are. And if South can get a positive result against Olympic, then that closes that right up to 1 point and 2 points between Salisbury South and Eastern. The point for Cobras on the weekend is probably quite a big point. It takes them up to 17 points. So I think quite a big point there for Cobras in the grand scheme of things, with only obviously a few games to go. What have we got? 4 games to go. So it doesn't sound like much, but when that point could be quite valuable in the end for Cobras. We obviously were just showing the Atletico Olympic highlights there, Seb. So I'll just jump straight into that, and then I'll leave the rest for Alessio. Olympic scoring through Jordan Puddler. This is the goal here. Just a great run and a cross that came through all the way through in the end. And he's able to finish quite easily in the end. But Atletico just sort of probably lost their way a little bit. I mean, they were sitting top at one stage, and they've just lost their way. I mean, three losses in the last 5, not the sort of form they probably want to be taking into finals, currently sitting in 6. But it does, the State League One, as I said, hardest to get in, hardest to get out type thing. It's one of those leagues where it's so difficult. When you look at it, as you said, 1st to 8th still playing for finals. I mean, Cove get a couple of right results. Cumberland, a couple of right results. They jump straight back up into contention into those fourth and fifth spots. And anything's possible. So it really is such a good league to follow, because you just never know what's going to happen. So, and then I'll leave the remaining games, which will be Blue Eagles and Fulham, I think, for Alessio to go with.
Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, as we were saying, I think it's the curse of the top spot, State League One. Anyone who's been there or could have been there this season has just fallen away. So let's just hope Raiders, this 5-game form, doesn't turn into a slump with the remaining 2 or 3 games.
It's like they don't want to. It's like they go, "Oh, we'll go top, but we don't want to stay there."
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm not sure if we talked about the Raiders game, but I'll go on to that. I'll go on to that one first. Solid 3-0 win against a team that are battling relegation. It's what you want if you're a home team as well. Some well-worked goals here as well. And again, they've just got a very not very stacked, but it's just a very experienced team, Croatia Raiders, especially with some of the signings we saw on the bench this week for them, who made their way onto the park. Christian D'Angelo is back, and he's for Adelaide, Croatia. So is Vian Kurikwamana, back to his junior club and club that he made his name for himself as a senior player. So they've just got even stronger and stronger to go with their form of 5 straight wins in the last 5 games. I don't know how much further that goes back to that 4-3 loss against Salisbury. So they've really been the team to look out for at the moment. Clear favourites to get the automatic promotion. And some great talents coming through their team, and they can just find goals from everywhere at the moment. If it's not Jai King, it's Salifu Jatta. If it's not him, it's Isaac Matakoulis. If it's not him, it's Aganek. There's just so many. And I think they're going to be the ones to beat, and I reckon they'll take the title. Don't think we really need to talk about Blue Eagles Cobras. I mean, missing some players, Blue Eagles, missing some coaches, but from the highlights didn't look like much. And there's not much to talk about in a nil regardless, if there's not even any red cards or any reason why. We can look about the goals of that mid-week game between Cumberland and Fulham, which was won by Cumberland. We've talked about this guy plenty of times, Diamond Min, again in this game, who provided what looked like the beginning of most of their moves. I mean, goal within 2 minutes for Tui, and then we'll see later on some of these goals. But we've said he's been such a good player this season so far, Diamond Min, and I could just see in this game the small parts of it, why he's so such a good player that everyone's looking at. And why, if Cumberland are maybe not promoted, he might get another shot at the NPL. I mean, I think it was only 2 seasons ago where he made his NPL debut for Metro Stars off the bench. Played a lot in their reserves, was such a shining light, and got an opportunity off the bench. After that, he went to Cobras, where he didn't feature too much, and then made the mid-season transfer. And since we've seen him this season at Cumberland, he's just been on fire, dominating games, and doing it against some of the top teams in this league. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a lot of it in the cup final. That was probably due to him just having to cover more space than be as creative as he would like. And but what you can see in 11v11, he's one of the difference makers.
You could say he's been a diamond for them.
They found a diamond.
A diamond in the rough.
Well, I wouldn't say Cumberland have been rough. That's what I'm saying. He's just been a diamond.
Well, they found him. The rough might have been Cobras, clearly.
Could have been.
But good for Cumberland that they've got their league form at that stage back on track, and hopefully after that cup run now that they can keep that form and consolidate a top 6 finish.
Absolutely. We'll head on to the WNPL for round 15. West Adelaide defeating Moravista 3-0 and claiming their title as premiers for another season. Flinders United defeated 9-1 by Adelaide Comets. Football SA 2-1 winners against Metro Stars. Campbelltown 5-0 over Adelaide Uni. And West Torrens Burkalla 2-all against Salisbury Inter. Mark, we'll start with you as you were on Football SA versus Metro Stars on the Saturday, Arvo.
I was. It was the first WNPL game I've done since the Adelaide Uni game, relegation game, when Trim Bowley was coaching. So I can't remember if it was last. It would have been not last year, before, maybe 2023. So it's been a while since I've 22, 24. I can't remember. It's been a long time, and I've slept a lot since then. So, but it was great to be able to get back onto a WNPL game. I was lucky enough to be on the Football SA Metro game. Metro took an early lead through Mun. Great little finish that she's come in. I think she's actually leading goal scorer for Metro as well since she's come in. So just great work there. They couldn't hold on to their lead. They did hold on to it for the remainder of the half, but they did concede in the 55th minute to a G goal. I love her surname, just quietly G. It's G-E-E, Ava G, but it's just the way you say it. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's G. So yeah, but it was quite a good finish. Saw the keeper off her line, and then eventually it did make its way over the line. So as much as Cordero did try to keep it out, and then Ruby King scoring the winner in the 83rd minute, which probably broke the hearts of Metro Stars, to be honest. Ruby King, it was quite interesting because obviously we've heard a lot of raps around Ruby King, and that bit there was the only mistake Hunter Gilmore made all game. Hunter Gilmore at the back for Metro was fantastic. She everything she needed to do, and when I say mistake, that's even it could be a little bit harsh on her, but that was the only sort of misstep from her all game, and in the end, Ruby King just showing enough class there to finish. She actually, funny enough, got taken off straight after that goal to shore up the midfield and things like that for Michaela Listella. But overall, not a bad game. It doesn't help Metro at all. Obviously, they're still currently sitting in 9th, 1 point behind Mowbray Vista, and it does just help. It was a win for Football SA, which they would have hoped would have closed the gap between Campbelltown, but Campbelltown got their win, so it still keeps them at 6 points. But it really didn't. Like Metro really needed something. Even if they could have got a draw out of it, it would have put them on level points. Yes, they haven't got a very good goal difference, but that could change. That draw could have just given them the positivity they needed going into the last few games. But they'll just have to come up. They're quite fortunate. They got Flinders this weekend, so you would say Metro should win that. They've got enough quality to win that game. Flinders, obviously, as we know, really struggling, which I'll go straight into because they lost to Comets. It didn't start too badly. That yes, they conceded in the 9th minute there, but I think it was only 2-0 at halftime, 1 or 2-0 at halftime.
2-1, I think.
2-1, that's right, yeah. And then after that, the floodgates, like I wouldn't say they opened up. I'd say they broke down, and it went bad. Just not good for Flinders at all. The positive, obviously, it was that Juma scored. Vicky Juma, we were quite keen on seeing her at Flinders, and it was a fantastic goal. So she scored for Flinders, which gave them a little bit of hope. Like I said, that made it 2-1. This is the goal here from Vicky Juma. It was 2-1 at halftime, and then, like I said, after that, Comets, great little goal there from Vicky Juma. And then after that, Comets just decided to actually go, okay, we need to start playing properly. Let's do this. Let's get the result. And Panagara scoring 3 goals, Pridham scoring 2, and then Katsabas, Nicola, Willoughby, and Porter all scoring a goal apiece. So not a great day for Flinders, but like I said, Metro have Flinders next week, which may aid them. Mowbray Vista have got a tough game in Adelaide Uni, who are just above them on the table.
Yep. And who they did beat for their first ever WNPL win, I think, from memory.
Exactly. And I dare say Adelaide Uni will be out to get revenge on that. So that'll be such a close game, that Adelaide Uni Mowbray Vista game. So that's the sort of relegation fight on the hands there.
Well, I guess with that, I'll go to sort of the top of the table. As I said, West Adelaide able to claim their premiership was almost inevitable. I sort of after the early season, even with that slip up against Campbelltown, the first goal again, Leonardo scoring a banger from distance. off the crossbar and in. That's not two. Maybe it's 2 weeks in a row. She's done it twice in a few weeks, and again started a lot more often this season, which is really, really good to see. Captain Black having a very good game. Piper Cosgrove again since joining mid-season has been a great addition. Emma Ryan, who started the season on fire, maybe just slipped off slightly halfway through, but sort of getting a bit back into form and getting amongst the goals again. And of course, can't forget Nini Amada still looking to try and claim that golden boot. As this one was just tapped in the end by Maddie Wright, of course, one of their cup final heroes again to claim that top spot officially. And I guess sort of the next step, they do have Burkalla this weekend in the league as that cup final rematch. But you would think they do have one eye on a very important finals campaign, you could imagine, for them. Alessio, to you, what do you want to go next? I think there's two left in Campbelltown Uni and then Burkalla and Inter.
Yeah, I'll do the Burkalla and Salisbury Inter game. Obviously, another top two teams in the league, obviously in second and third at the moment. But an interesting clash. I believe a couple of times Salisbury Inter have played some of the top teams and ended up with a draw as well. Of course, 2 goals from Cote Rojas, which I believe also has her top of the goal scoring charts, still above Panagaris and Yamada. But yeah, some interesting goals here for Burkalla. I think that first one had a bit of a hint of offside, maybe. And
it might have done, but how good was the play from back to front?
Yeah.
But good to see Salisbury to get back into it as well. They got such a talented squad. And yeah, Marcella Brooks back into the team as well. So she was, of course, going to be involved in some of the play. But yeah, a top clash between these two as well. I think both of them probably would have preferred a win, but at this point of the season, I guess it doesn't mean too much. There's no week off that you're going to get. There's no. I'm not sure if it's got a home fixture if you finish second instead of third.
No, I don't think so. It's all at neutral venues.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a lot to play. I guess the only thing is you want some form coming into the final series. You want to know that you can beat the other top teams around you. And unfortunately for Salisbury, they really haven't done that this season. For Burkalla, they've really put it to the test against these teams and have even picked up some of the results against some of the teams around them. But yeah, that's probably the only thing is confidence as a player, that knowing you can set up, you can beat one of these top teams in a one-off game. If you can do it during the regular season, it helps you for the rest. But yeah, great free kick there by Hodgson.
Just over the line.
Yeah. But she's been a real impact. I mean, they already had a good team, and bringing her in is just kind of helps things along as well. And I think they're going to have an interesting final series if they can face up against West Adelaide over 2 legs. Maybe I think they could probably do something, and especially if they have all their players fit and available, I think they can really put it to the test of West Adelaide.
Absolutely, will be interesting. And just finish off on the Uni and Campbelltown result. Campbelltown continuing on very well as they did last season, same this season. Chelsea Dorber with a brace, as did Marina Asada have one as well. And Monique Rikiki also on the score sheet. Chelsea Dorber again making an impact, joining this Campbelltown City side again, who I will imagine will be looking to get back to the grand final for a second year in a row, perhaps a bit more convincingly in terms of their form and their finishing places. They'll want to secure the final spot on their own right, rather than last season where they had to wait on other results to see if they finished in that 5th spot. But again, another big win for Campbelltown. And you said, Mark, earlier, Uni against Vista next week becomes huge for Mowbray Vista. In their case, Uni will want to continue, at least see if they can try and ask the question of finals. But Vista, you would expect that Metro Stars would beat Flinders United, and then in turn, if Vista don't beat Adelaide Uni, then Vista will be in that second bottom spot. So a huge match next week for Vista as well.
Yeah, a huge game. And the thing is, there's a 6-point gap between Football SA and Campbelltown. Campbelltown now five wins on the bounce. Their last 5 games are 5 wins. So they're in actually the form of the league is with Campbelltown. Obviously they beat West Adelaide as well. So they've got the form, but what I just wanted to point out, the goals there that you were showing, you missed the 2 goals that looked fantastic. It was Monique Rikiki. I think she ran almost like over half the pitch for her goal. But the other goal scorer, Asada, there was a goal that they scored some beautiful interplay down the left-hand side, and it was their import in Gable.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the last player, delightful cross, and Asada with the headed finish. I actually said it should be in goal of the week because it was such a good finish, such a well-planned attack, and the finish itself, the header was just sublime, absolutely sublime. So, but Campbelltown, yeah, really, I said, if they can beat Comets this weekend, I mean, that's 6. They're already 6 points, but Vista,
I think it's top
really,
5 locked up then. If they win this week, I think it's top 5 locked up.
Exactly. So that's the thing. So Adelaide Uni are 5 points behind. That Uni can't get to finals. They're 9 points or whatever it is behind, 11 points behind. So it is just a game for Melbourne and Uni just to make sure they stay away from that relegation zone. Really, that's what it comes down to. So Vista need the win. So does Metro against, and we, like I said, we think Metro will beat Flinders. So it's that Adelaide Uni Modbury game, such a big game this weekend.
Absolutely, all eyes on that one. Men's NPL for round 18. The results being Campbelltown City defeating Adelaide Comets 1-0. West Orange Burkalla 11-0 against Para Hills Knights. Adelaide City 2-2 with Croydon FC. Playford just defeating Metro Stars in a big upset there, 1-0. West Adelaide 0-0 against Sturt Lions with a red card to Ali Reyes Murati. And then FK Beergrad defeated 2-0 by Adelaide United on the Sunday, again accommodating their midweek fixture against North Sunshine Eagles to play that on the Sunday. Where do you start? There's plenty of interesting ones, I guess. Maybe just very quickly. I'm not going to play the goals because there's far too many. Burkalla 11-0 over Para Hills. I think it's Para Hills. I can't remember the stats for it. This is how prepared we are. I think it's their biggest ever loss in the NPL. Burkalla's, I don't think it even ranks in their top 4 from memory when I saw the stats in terms of biggest win, or maybe it's equal 4th or something. But quite truly, just incredible. George Blackwood with 19 goals in general this season.
What, in that, in that game? Jeez, how did he manage that? They only scored 11.
But yeah, just extraordinary stuff, Mark.
It certainly was. You feel for Para Hills, the fact that it can't be easy. I mean, they've conceded 87 goals this season, so it's not easy for them or the coaching staff. Yet they still rock up. They still trying their hearts out to get positive results and things like that. But unfortunately for them at the moment, if they're conceding early, it's really such a tough job for them. They conceded in the 9th minute, and from that 9th minute, you could sort of see that they were going to concede a few. And it was more a fact of just how many they were going to concede. And so that was probably the biggest concern. If they can hold teams out longer, then they've got more of a chance at least conceding only a couple or even getting a positive result. But when they're conceding that early, and the way Joe wants to play, that it just opens. It really did just knock down that floodgate. It didn't open; it was smashed through, and unfortunately.
And this is the reverse fixture of the match in which they drew, which ended up getting ruled out. Like I said, it's extraordinary. This is it's the same club that's had the same 2 results against the same team in the same season. And I think earlier in the season we saw it against Croydon. We did see it against Burkalla. Para Hills could at least hold out teams and stop them scoring at least less at the moment. It just seems like the hardest thing for them.
It's funny. I spoke with Stav Galekis of Burkalla, the Burkalla coach. I spoke with him actually about that Para Hills game. And he said, funny enough, he goes, yes, we got given the win in the end because of an eligible player. He goes, but that was the best thing that actually happened to them. He goes, that result was so good because they realized that they weren't just going to walk any game. They had to try every game. They had to make sure they were on it every game. And they've been like that. Yes, they've had a couple of losses in the last 5, but he actually said that was a real big motivational turning point for them because they realized that it's not going to be a walk in the park because everyone had Para Hills finishing bottom at the start of the year. They didn't start off the season very well. They lost the first game and everyone's like, oh, here we go. This is going to be a long season for them. It has been, but that game for Berks was really, when they came away with effectively, I think it was a 3-3 draw in the end. they were like, "Oh, this is like it's not going to be easy," and that was a real big turning point for Burkalla. After only one game, they realised it's not going to be as easy as what they thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go to my game on the weekend between Playford and Metro Stars. As I mentioned before, a big upset. Playford not in the greatest of form as of recently. They've only won the one game in their last 5 previous to this one, and that was against Campbelltown, sitting lower than them. Tabaro's the great assist for Xavier Pratt to put it in that bottom corner. Still with Vincent Barbaro Vincent Barbaro in goal. No Cody O strike. Cameron Woodfin was also missing from the starting 11. As well was another absentee. A big thing for them, though, was they brought on Thomas Visser at half-time at left back initially, and he made such an impact. Like, they probably maybe could have gotten an equaliser through the work that he did alone, just the work that he did up and down the wing, getting past players to try and put in that final ball, which did more often than not, but sometimes they just sail over or nobody would get a connection. Probably one of the best plays in that match once he came off the bench. Again, probably only hampered by the fact he came on as a substitute, Thomas Visser. So very impressive from him. It's the first time I've actually covered Metro all year, so it was very interesting to see that as well. But yeah, just a 1-0 Xavier Pratt goal. Nothing too much more to report other than, good to see Playford getting back some form. But I guess for the top of the table, just makes it even more interesting us from a media perspective to hopefully give us the final day we wish for, where we've got 3 teams possibly in the mix come that Saturday night, all playing for the points and to see if they can finish top. Where else can we go? Alessio, to your Friday night between Campbelltown and Comets then.
Yeah, we talked about it really early in this episode, but 0-0s and 1-0s across the league was really unfortunate to see. And this game, I'm so happy, got a goal in it, Jordan O'Doherty. But as we see around this MPL league this week as well, it seemed like no one was happy to score and no one could keep the ball enough to score. But a massive win for Campbelltown, keeps their slim hopes of finals alive. They had many, many chances in this game to go ahead. Josh Murray, I think, had 4 shots on target saved. And they just had, so many. I mean, if I was him looking at the ladder of top scorers before the night, I think he was only 1 or 2 away from Blackwood. He's like 7. So he must have just been like, of course. And they actually have some tough fixtures, though, to come for the next couple of games, Campbelltown. I believe they have Adelaide City and FK Beograd.
Croydon this weekend too.
And Croydon. So some quite tough fixtures, but you wouldn't put it past Campbelltown to snuff out some results in there and maybe get themselves closer to that finals mix. We talked just before about Playford. That 1-0 win was probably a very pivotal one in the change room. Not in the change room, in the table, because them picking up points, Croydon picking up points, and Campbelltown picking up points, while West Adelaide and Sturt both dropped a maximum of 3 points. And obviously Comets losing as well kind of separates the distance away. And I'd say maybe Sturt have a little chance because they're playing some teams in and around them. But the top 6, I would say, is pretty set on at the moment, unless we see some crazy upsets.
Mark, do you want to go to... We might leave West Adelaide and Sturt alone because it's a 0-0.
I was going to say, well, I'll jump across to FK because it follows straight on from what Alessio was saying there about the league finishing with Sturt playing Adelaide United this weekend up at the Summit. I'm sure, Alessio, you were on that game, I think, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it took one absolute cracker from Tatu to get the goal there. Great finish. He also scored another bomb in the second half to win the game. But FK Beograd probably feel a little bit hard done by. I mean, they had this game was pushed back a little bit, obviously the extra day for them because they played the midweek game. But they had some really good opportunities to get goals back. I did tune into some of this game. Cooper Nunn missed a header from inside sort of 6 yards where you'd normally say he's putting that away, but he managed to put that one over the bar. Baselli had probably, I think, 3 good chances to score and didn't. So I just think it came down to the fact that FK just weren't clinical, didn't put their chances away on the night. But it leaves them still sitting in 4th place. They're 2 games behind City. But that Playford win really does close that gap because they're now sitting on 29 points, FK Beograd on 30. So there's a clear 3 three leading when you've got 2 games between third and fourth. Yes, there's still obviously 4 games to play, but that's still, you've got to rely on Adelaide City dropping points. You've got to rely on Metro dropping points. So you would think that the top 3 is probably set in its ways at the moment. And then it's FK Beergrad, Playford, Croydon in 6th place on 28. And this is what we were just talking about, Adelaide United playing Sturt this weekend. I think Sturt and Campbelltown can now go, yeah, we're safe from relegation with those results on the weekend. But now Sturt, if they win that, they close that gap they'll jump to the same as what Adelaide United are on. So really quite a big game for those 2 teams in hopefully getting that 6th spot away from Croydon. So it'll be an interesting one. And again, Croydon playing Campbelltown. So if Croydon don't get a positive result there, it just closes that gap up. Campbelltown go to 25, then that's only 1 game, 3 games to go. So even the final spots there's still things to play for, right down to probably 9th spot. West Adelaide, probably a little bit too far away now, but I also think they're safe also. I think they're safe. I'm not sure Comets can get enough results to get out of trouble.
Before I go to you, just to finish off on the City and Croydon game, I am looking ahead just out of interest, but the final round could be genuinely insane. You've got Beergrad and City, which could be City, a team looking that could win the final. Beergrad might need to win that game. Again, this is completely looking to 3 weeks in the future. City could win the title in that game. Beergrad might need to win to stay in finals. Same for Burkalla and Adelaide United. Same for Metro Stars and Croydon. You've got 3 games where it's 3 lots of teams for 2 different reasons needing the points desperately. Yeah, hopefully we get the dream final round for the first time in God knows how many years, and it's not Metro winning it with 3 weeks to go. No offense, but as you mentioned just before, Mark, just to quickly go on, Adelaide City, the 2-2 draw with Croydon. They were 2-0 up, a mistake early on initially, but then Croydon getting back 2 through Luca Trimboli.
Was it Luca or Oliver Trimboli?
Oliver Trimboli.
Oliver, yeah. No, I've got to give him his dues. Yeah. So, City taking the 2-0 lead, and you thought, it's probably over there. And so great goals from Katana. That's just a delightful ball in from Don Costanzo. Great cutback, and there's Latanzio just empty net. So at this stage, Croydon are probably thinking, geez, we've got to do something. And I tell you what, it must have been one heck of a halftime team talk. Because they've come out and changed the game, and but that's what you have a squad for. Like, you've got Oliver Trimboli, you've got Luca Trimboli, both goal scorers. You're able to get them both on the park, and this time it's Oliver scoring the goals when needed for Croydon. So Adelaide City will be disappointed that being 2-0 up and they've come back to get the 2-2 draw. So Adelaide City will definitely feel like they've let themselves down in that regard, because a win there would have kept them in top spot. Or they might not have been just on goal difference, in the fact that Burkalla scored 50 million goals, scored 11 goals. So that really obviously helped their goal difference, because I think that's now pushed Burkalla into 2nd highest goal scorers in the league after scoring that 11. They were sitting on about 35 before that game. They're now goals for of 46, 2 behind Metro Stars. So it really did help their goal difference in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, for Adelaide City, like I said, it's a good point. They would have preferred the 3, obviously, but for Croydon, again, a really big point for Croydon, because the fact is that puts them in 6th. Adelaide United on 7th, but the goal difference there is like another goal. Is like another point, because Adelaide United got to try and make up 8 goals effectively in the next 4 games. So it is quite a valuable point for Croydon in the end. So, but like I said, there's still something to play for everywhere. I mean, Para Hills effectively are the only team that have nothing to play for. Comets have still got a slim hope. What are they? They're 6 points. 6 points with 4 games to go. West Adelaide, not an easy run. They got Metro next. I mean, yes, Comets have got FK Beergrad, so not an easy game, but you know what I mean? They've still got something to play for. So it'll be a very interesting last 4 games across the entire league, to be honest. Like I said, unless you're playing Para Hills. So I don't mean that in disrespect, but they've been relegated, and it's not easy for them. And I hope they can get something positive out of this season for Joe and the rest of the team. They've managed to bleed a lot of young players in, so hopefully they can get something positive out of the season.
No, absolutely. With that, that's the weekend done. Before we go on to predictions, I just saw a quick tweet from Robbie Cornthwaite just to go back to the Nestor and Kunda news. Again, the move basically, I think, all but confirmed. Due to FIFA's solidarity mechanism, which is the thing we saw for Joe Gauci, in which we saw Cumberland receive some money for his transfer to Aston Villa. It looks like Adelaide United will get about 500 grand for the transfer, and Adelaide Croatia Raiders will get over 200 grand for Nestor's transfer from Watford to Sporting. So again, for Adelaide Croatia Raiders, that's huge as well, and really good for them. Again, as we were talking about the young players they have at the moment there as well, still continuing that tradition on of having young players in the club. All right, we'll go on to our predictions. Alessio, how did we do last week?
Not bad. Pretty even, I think. I can't remember if we had predictions for the Cumberland Heidelberg game. I don't think.
No, we didn't. We didn't do the cup games.
But otherwise, Seb picked up 16 points, 1 perfect, and that was Adelaide City men's, the 2-2 draw. David picked up 18 with 1 perfect, being the West Torrens Bacala women. Mark picked up 16 with no perfect, and I picked up 20 with 2 perfect, being the FSA women and the Modbury Jets women.
Perfect. With that, we'll do our predictions. But first, to hear from him one more time through video before he returns to us next week, David brought a friend to do his first lot of predictions with him. So let's see who he brought with him for this trip in Fiji.
I'm good.
Bula, that's what we say, isn't it? Yes. So look, big weekend of football coming up in South Australia. West Torrens McCullough playing West Adelaide in the WNPL. Who's going to win that one?
SWI.
Yeah, they'll win it.
Yeah.
And in the men's, we've got Croydon playing Campbelltown at Croydon at Regency Park. You know, the fortress there.
Yeah.
Who's going to win that one? Croydon or Campbelltown?
Maybe Campbelltown.
It'll be on live. It'll be on live here.
Yeah.
It's on live here. The place will be packed. They'll all be watching it. So tune in and watch then. See you.
See you.
Bula. Anyway, I'll be back this weekend, and I'm on Croydon versus Campbelltown. And I think it's at Croydon. I think it's only my second time at Croydon this year, having been there in round 1. I'm going to probably back Croydon in that one. I'll go for a 2-1 win for them in that one. The other game that I'm hotly looking forward to is West Torrens McCullough and West Adelaide in the Women's National Premier Leagues. I'm probably going to go for a West Adelaide win in that one. Again, 2-1. And then the third game I wanted to mention, of course, is the Hills Derby. Adelaide Hills Hawks and Mount Barker at the Summit. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that one. And the rest of my picks, I'll post through to you in a message, in a bottle or something like that.
Good to hear from him one more time before he returns next week, and to our ears on Saturday afternoon for that Croydon versus Campbelltown match. Our predictions now for this upcoming weekend, starting in the north, Salisbury Inter versus Elizabeth Downs. 2 sides looking near that top of the table. I'm going to go for a Salisbury Inter 3-1 win.
I'll go 3-2 Salisbury Inter.
I'll go 2-1 Salisbury Inter.
In the south for State League 2, Seaford Rangers versus Adelaide Uni, 2 sides side by side. I'm not going to put you in an awkward position, Alessio.
What do you mean awkward? I'm backing the boys, mate.
All right, fine then. Mount Barker versus Adelaide Hills Hawks. Who do we think's going to win then, Mark?
I'll go. I don't know actually. I'm gonna go Barker 1-0.
Wow.
I'm gonna go.
Alessio, I'm going to put you down for a Hills Hawks 3-0 win.
No, I'll go Barker 3-2.
I'm going to go. I think I'm also going to go 1-0 Mount Barker. to the WSL, Adelaide Jaguars versus the Cove. Again, we saw Cove nearly with a result against Sturt last week, although I'm going to go Jaguars 2-1.
I'll go the Jags as well. I'll go 3-2.
I'll go Jaguars 2-0.
State League 1, Modbury Jets versus Adelaide Atletico. I'm going to go for a Modbury Jets win 3-1.
I'm going to go Atletico 2-1.
I'll go Jets 2-0.
In the WMPL, that big fixture we were talking about earlier near the bottom of the table, Adelaide Uni versus Modbury Vista at Service Home Stadium. I'm gonna go Vista to win. I'm gonna go 2-1 again.
I'll go Vista 2-0.
I'm going to go Uni 1-0. Just to be different.
And then finally in the men's NPL, Adelaide City versus West Torrens Burkalla. Either one of these teams could possibly end the night in top, depending on the Metro Stars versus West Adelaide result. A huge game this round for the top of the table. It's my game as well, actually, conveniently enough.
Where's this one at?
Adelaide City.
Oh, okay.
2:30 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. I'm going to back City, I think, maybe. And you're not going to guess what score? I'm going to say 2-1.
I'm going to go 4-2 Adelaide City.
Mark, your home club this season in Burkalla.
Yes, and they've treated me very well this year. I have to admit, they've treated me very well. There's some goals and some great games across the year. You boys went Adelaide City, didn't you?
We did.
I'm going to go Burkalla 3-2.
And that rounds out our on-show predictions. Of course, as always, they'll be available on our socials by or before the fixtures actually happen in a few days' time. But that's our show done for another week. Alessio and Mark, unless I'm missing anything else before next Wednesday.
Make sure you get out to the games. A lot of big games. If you're in the hills, it'd be great to see everybody at that MPL at the Summit game. Often get to see such high-level football there, seeing some of the best young players that are featuring our state. I mean, Amalani Tatu's grabbing all the headlines at the moment. Might see him there. I would hope so. And then, some other players as well. Michael Moroney's going to be there playing for Sturt Lions. So, the future and the past as well. It'd be great to see everyone there. Otherwise, any other fixtures around the leagues as well. All football there is on Friday night as well. Any other fixtures as well around the grounds where we might see some trophy presentations potentially. I'm not sure, but
maybe.
Make sure you get out.
Mark?
No, just get out. Yeah, just follow on. Get out, watch games, tune in. If you can't, the boys will be across all of them. I've got a weekend off, I think. I don't have a game this weekend, so well, I can't anyway. I've got too many birthday parties this weekend, but that's all good. But no, get out
Can
there.
only age once.
Tune in. Yeah, well, I've got two 21sts and a 50th to attend all on the same day. So and that's all on Saturday. So I'll be getting around to those. Actually, I'm in the hills on the Saturday.
Wow.
I am actually in the hills on the Saturday. So but I don't know if I want to get to watch the big players. I'd rather watch the guys on Friday night than, the big teams of the hills. But
names, some of the big names around our football.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it is. But no, just get out there and watch or tune in and go from there. But no, that's all from me.
No, absolutely. As we head to the end of the season, games just getting bigger and bigger in terms of their consequences towards the top and bottom ends of tables. And yeah, just truly extraordinary results, I'm sure, are still to come, and some truly great matches, I'm sure, too, as the intensity and the pressure ramps up for the final few rounds before we do head into those big final series for all those leagues. That's us for another week. David will be back next week from Fiji. We'll all be here. We'll have a guest. But until then, we'll see you next week. Enjoy the football this weekend, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.
And we look like we're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal! And it's Andre Cove, the hero for Croydon! We thought it was over, but it's not over, and Croydon look like they're going to go all the way to the win.
We can't say that now. Here goes Yuki Sasaki into the area. Penagaris, Chrissy Penagaris. Adelaide Comets have taken the lead.
Falcon there, but it leaves Owen Windsor. And a third for Metro Stars.
Here's Emma Ryan. She's not one of them because she's from Darwin. The shot from DeCola. Lily DeCola scores in the cup final again and wins it for West Adelaide. As the ball cuts back here to Odenwalder. And James Odenwalder scores. He makes it 2-0 for West Adelaide on the day.
I bet he was going to be Travella if he puts one in. He goes himself instead. And it's still Soy Sakani. It's unbelievable, David, as well. And that one is definitely going to be credited to him.
Will have to be chased down by Rapawano. He'll put in a cross of his own. Hobbs wasn't able to capture it. It's in! It's not the one that steals that Atletico promotion.
I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too. Yeah, we're doing this thing.